All right, so we're going to do this little practice spreadsheet review activity number 1, the planets. And the directions in Schoology say, ever wonder what it would be like to walk on another planet, provided you could, of course. Utilizing Google Sheets, which is Google's spreadsheet program, we'll figure out what we'd weigh on each one if we could walk there. And it says click on the link to open a Google Docs version of the directions. It should look like this. All right, so let's just take a look at what this little activity is all about. And again, for some of you, this will be review. For others, this might be kind of new. But what's nice is this direction sheet does have everything you need step by step, including the information that needs to go in the spreadsheet. This activity does have 2 parts. Part 1 is just entering information into Google Sheets. Part 2 is making a graph. Today, we'll look at part 1. All right, so the directions say to follow each step carefully. We are going to end up using Google Sheets math abilities to find out what we'd weigh on another planet. So the directions say, number 1, to open up Google Sheets. If you're not sure how to open up Google Sheets, remember you can just go to your Google Drive, or you can go to Apps and click on Sheets. If you're in Drive, you would just do New Google Sheets. And here it is. Google Sheets is a spreadsheet program. It's basically a big table with boxes. What do they call the boxes? What's the technical name for the boxes in there? Anybody know? If you go to jail, what do they put you in? A cell. If you look under a microscope at some skin, you see a cell. These are called cells. So these are all called cells. And cells are organized and labeled into columns. The columns are labeled with letters. They go across the top. Columns go up and down. Think about columns that might support a building. The other way, these are called rows. Rows go across. You row a boat across the pond. Therefore, rows go across. Okay, so we have cells that are organized into rows and columns. Every cell has its own name, just like you all have your own name. Every cell has its own name. Okay, so like this cell right here is D4. This one over here, E9. What's this one? L10. Yes, very good. This one here is A1, just like the steak sauce, but not as tasty. All right. So every cell has a name. That will be helpful. All right. There's a lot of things you can do with a spreadsheet. Everything from just simply entering information, words, text, numbers, to doing statistical analysis of data sets, very complicated accounting problems, pivot tables, charts, graphs, equations and calculations of almost anything. Excel and Google Sheets are as powerful as a scientific calculator. All right, there's so many built-in functions, formulas, and equations. There's not a lot you can't do with this. You can sort data, you can filter data. There's a million things you can do with spreadsheets. All right, by default, when we open it up, it gives us a new sheet down here. You can have multiple sheets in what they call a workbook, which would be when you save this file, or when this file is saved automatically into your Google Drive, these 3 sheets are included with it, or these 4 sheets. And you can rename these sheets. You can change the color of a sheet to label it. There's so much you can do. The menu across the top, we see File, Edit will have your copy, paste, things like that. View, Insert, you can insert charts, images, drawings, forms. There's formats, so you can do all kinds of text formatting like you normally would in a Google document. There's things you can do with data. There's tools you can use. There's even add-ons, especially in the Google world. You can get all kinds of different add-ons for Google. Anyways, today what we're going to start with for part 1 of the planets activity is you're going to first name your spreadsheet properly, and that's up there on the upper left. So you're going to give it your name. If I was Joe Pizzatz, I would be Joe Pizzatz. And this is called the planets. And this is for Mr. Matiska's class, and this is for... So once you've named it, number 3 says to recreate the following table with the information entered exactly as it is here. So you're going to first, up here in A1, put a label, planet. In column B, you're going to put something called surface gravity. In column C, you're going to put the label your weight. And in column D, well, you're going to put something called distance. And that's in kilometers. Why? Because. And you can format those too if you'd like. If you'd like to make those bold or a little bigger or something like that, you can. If you want to drag these columns so that it all fits, you can do that. Did you know you can go in between the 2 columns like this, get a double-edged arrow, double click, and it will resize the column automatically? Or you can click and drag to give yourself more room. Like this distance one, you're going to need some room there. Okay. You can also format the text any way you'd like. Underline, bold it, center it, whatever. Then go ahead and add in all the planet names, these values for surface gravity. Leave the column that says your weight blank except for your weight on Earth. Now you don't have to actually put your own weight. Okay, you can. If you want to do this for yourself, you can, but some people don't feel that other people need to know what they weigh, so you are not obligated to put your actual weight, but make it something realistic. Don't say you weigh 900 pounds.
40,000 pounds.
On the other, yeah, nothing like that.
Like 45 pounds either,
and don't put 45 pounds either. Put somebody's weight down. At least make it 125 or 100 pounds or more, okay? But not 500 pounds. So put something. The rest of them just leave blank. Okay, so right now, go ahead and take some time to enter this information about the planets on the spreadsheet. In a little while, we'll take a look at how to create a formula or equation to actually calculate our weight.